Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here, listening to me, and welcome again to Learning Revolution, the Emergency Home Learning Summit. Well, my name is Gabriella Pugliese, and I welcome you to my presentation, Flip Learning. And I'm going to talk to you about my experience flipping my classes. Okay. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. First of all, I'm Venezuelan, but I moved to Colombia 5 years ago. Then in Venezuela, I used to be an English teacher. In fact, I've been teaching English for more than 20 years. Yeah, not at all. Then when I moved here to Colombia, I'm at the university offered me to work as a teacher. I teach English at the education faculty, right, to future teachers. But then one day, the boss, invited me to teach French because I hold a degree in translation in French, Spanish, and English. So they offered me to teach French as a second language to students from different degrees, not only from the education faculty, but from different different degrees, right? So I say yes. And it was a new experience because although I have taught French before, it was in a different level. I've never taught at the university level. So it was a challenge for me. Then I realized that it was also a challenge because I was only to teach only 2 hours per week. So that was not enough time. Why? Because this subject is considered an elective subject, it's not mandatory. So it's just for students who want to take that subject, French as a second language, just to learn a little French. Okay. So when I was working at the university, I decided to do a master degree in bilingual education because I wanted to go deeper in content. And there I learned about flip learning. Okay. And I totally fell in love with this methodology. So that's why, taking into account two reasons, the time, as I mentioned before, I only had 2 hours per week. So that was not enough time. And I needed to take advantage of time. I say, okay, let's flip our classes. Okay. And the second reason, there is a Moodle at the university, and almost nobody used it before the pandemic, pre COVID classes. Not many teachers use it, just the teachers who work remotely in different degrees. But in my case, I say, well, I have the Moodle. The university is motivating teachers to use the Moodle. So this is the correct moment to flip my classes. So I started flipping my French classes around 2 years and a half ago. So it means like 4 semesters, right? Yes, 4 semesters, 5 semesters. So I started teaching, flipping my classes. At the beginning, when I was teaching French in a language center, I used a blog because the language center didn't have a Moodle. So I had a blog, and in that blog, I just posted some videos created by me or some videos from YouTube. So I motivated my students to watch the videos before coming to class. So in that way, they have a clue about the content. So it was easier for them to understand and to follow the instructions of the class, and also to interact and to participate. So that's why I started creating a blog. So it was just simple because they only commented it. But in the Moodle, it was different because first, the Moodle, it was mandatory for the university. I mean, the university was motivating, forcing teachers to use it. And then it is better because they can upload different material. I can upload the videos there. So it is better because the interaction happens there. Okay. And also, thank God, I decided to use the Moodle 2 years and a half ago because now with the, the pandemic and the remote classes, it is mandatory. All teachers are using it. So some teachers are now being trained with the Moodles, but in my case, I consider that I use it very well because I've been using it for a long time. So these were the two main reasons to flip my classes. And of course, as I mentioned before, I fell in love with this methodology during my master's degree. So I decided to apply it. Okay. So before going a little bit deeper, I want to tell you a little bit what flip learning is. I know that many of you already know. Many of you are experts on this topic. But anyway, I want you to understand the difference between a traditional class and a flip class. Okay, so the traditional class, we see the teacher there standing up by the board, writing on the board, talking for hours, and students are normally sitting in rows, listening to the teacher, being quiet, okay, not interacting at all, okay, or just one or two, and they have a very passive role. So the teacher is the only one who knows everything. Students, they just learn what the teacher is saying. So there's not a real interaction. And then the teacher say, okay, do you understand what I say? Students, quiet, they never answer. Do you have any questions? Nothing. And then the teacher say, okay, so go home and do these activities. Okay, you have to create this, you have to do this activity, and you have to create another thing, and so on. So students go home without knowing anything, and they have different solutions for that. So what do? First, they copy and paste from internet, okay? Or they even pay somebody to do their activities for them, okay? Or they just don't do it, but they never ask a teacher. So that's what normally happens in a traditional class. In flip learning is different, okay? In flip learning, we do totally the opposite, okay? We teach the content through videos, okay? So the teacher prepares a class through a video, the right explanation very precisely, and send the videos to students. So the students, instead of doing activities at home, they watch the videos at home and they learn the content at home, right? So once they watch the video, they have a clue. They start in questioning themselves and say, oh, really? Do I have to use this? Oh my God, I didn't realize this. So they start questioning themselves, which is a very good thing because then they feel motivated and engaged to continue learning. Once they learn the content at home, or at least the vocabulary and some grammar rules or some specific content, they go to class. And in class, the teacher provides them some exercises and some activities to put into practice what they learned through the video. But the teacher is there to support them. So first, they're already engaged and motivated through the videos. And once they get to class, they feel free to interact with the teacher and with their classmates because they want to learn more. So they interact and they try to solve the activities and the problems there. And as I say before, they have the support of the teacher. The teacher is there by their side, helping them if they have any questions. Okay. So the teacher provides them the atmosphere to feel comfortable to keep learning and to put into practice what they've learned. Okay. So as you can see here, you see a traditional class. And I know that you're going to say, yeah, but we're here. I mean, we didn't learn through flip learning classes. So we are here. We're very good professionals. Yes, but you have to take into account that everything has changed. And nowadays, even more. Why? Because after the pandemic, okay, I'm going to talk about remote classes, we need technology. So sometimes we don't have a real interaction with our students, I mean, face to face. So that's why, anyway, we're flipping our classes because we're using Moodles, we're using blogs, we're using other technological tools or programs to work with our students. So you want it or not, we are flipping our classes somehow. So that's why we have to move into the new generation. So flipping is one of the best solutions. Okay, for me will be the best. Okay. So here, as I was saying, teachers in the class, they teach and explain and speak for hours, and students have a passive role. They stay there and they never interact. And then outside of the classroom, they have to simulate the concepts by their own, doing practices and activities and exercises. So it's complicated for them. And then in flipped classroom is totally different. What they do outside the classroom is they prepare the lesson. So they try to understand at least the idea of the lesson, and they question themselves about that topic. So they start asking themselves questions, and they inquire about what they're learning. So that's why when they come to class, they have an active role because they start participating. Okay. And the teacher is there to guide them. Okay. So here I can talk about the Bloom's taxonomy. In classes, what we used to do in a traditional class, we used to work with the LOTS, the low order thinking skills, okay, which are remembering, understanding, and applying. The teacher just tell them the content, they understand, they repeat it, they probably do something to put it into practice, to apply the vocabulary in class, and that's it. And then at home, they have to do the HOTS, okay? Analyzing, evaluating, and creating. And it's not impossible, but they need the support of the teacher. So in flip learning, we do totally the opposite. Through the videos, okay, or through the material, because they don't have to be just videos. It could be material, websites, a TV programs, okay? Any type of material that helps them with the content or the concepts. And here they work the lots by themselves. So it's easier for them because they can understand, they remember, and they probably use some words to create some sentences or questions for the class. But then in class, they do the HOTS, the high order thinking skills, together with the teacher. The teacher is there supporting them and helping them to move forward, to go step by step. Okay. So why did I decide to flip my classes? Because as I said before, I strongly believe that the technology came to stay, but not technology. I'm talking about remote classes, online classes. They came to stay. I did my master's degree online and I love it because I love um, this scenario. I love remote teaching and I love virtuality. I love everything that had to do with technology. But then some teachers and some students were not used to this. Okay, but now they're forced to do it, and we're gonna keep going because in Colombia, for example, the next semester we're gonna keep working on remote classes. So we have to keep going, keep moving. So instead of complaining, we just have to move on and just accept the challenge and continue. Okay. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Moodle that I use. Here you have some images about the Moodle of the university. So what I do, I'm going to stop sharing here. I'm going to the Moodle here. And you can see the platform that I have, okay? If you don't have any Moodle, that's okay. Because as I told you at the beginning, I used to have a blog a long time ago. Now you can have a Padlet, a Wakelet, okay? Or any other tool that can help you post material to your students so they can watch it at home, they can learn with that content, and then come to class, okay? Um, if it's online classes or face-to-face classes, the same thing, they can come to class to put into practice that content they have learned. So here, for example, well, I haven't changed the labels here, but these are the resources, the learning resources. So here they have the videos that they have to watch before coming to class. I record some of the videos, but some of the videos I take them from YouTube because they're very good. I mean, people are more prepared than me creating videos. I create regular videos explaining with some slices, but here we have French native speakers that teach a specific content, so why not using it? I use it for my classes, and they're free, they're online. I mean, they're in YouTube, so you can use them. Okay. I also use Edpuzzle sometimes when I want to evaluate if they're watching the videos, because at the beginning, my students didn't watch the videos because they were used to traditional classes. So they forgot about it. So they arrive to class and say, okay, let's do this activity. And I say, how are we going to do it? You haven't explained anything. Say, no, I haven't explained anything because you were supposed to watch a video. And students say, okay. So next class they watch video and they were, I mean, they were feeling okay with the classes. But here I use some videos from YouTube because these are native speakers. Okay. And it is good that they don't just listen to the teacher, although it is necessary to record the videos for your students, okay, at least some of them. Why? Because they feel confident with the teacher. They know that this is my teacher, so I'm going to listen to her. She's the one who's going to explain me. So I believe everything that she says. In fact, sometimes have happened to me with my children. I say, no, you don't pronounce it that way. You pronounce it this way. I say, no, my teacher says this way, so that's the way it is. Okay. So it's very funny because your students believe in you. So that's why it is necessary to record some of the videos. Okay. As I said before, many colleagues that I have that work in Flip Learning, they record all of their videos. In my case, I also use videos from the web. Okay. Here, for example, this is a video that I recorded for them. Okay. So here you can see, I work with the nationalities, the countries and nationalities. So I try to explain everything, okay, before the class. I know that this video is very long, okay? It shouldn't be that long. It should be maximum 6 minutes, okay? Because if not, it is like boring for them. But in this case, they have short videos before, so I recorded this long video to help them understand a little bit more the content, okay? So here in the Moodle, besides my videos and other videos, I also have some material that you can see here. I have web pages that they can enter. They have blogs. They have other materials that they can look through and be prepared for the class. And then where it says learning activities, these activities are the ones who are going to be done in class, not at home, in class with the support of the teacher. So taking advantage of these COVID-19 classes that are online, they work with me on the computer, and sometimes I allow them to share the screen and say, okay, what do you copy here? They share the screen. We do the activities together. In fact, I'm gonna show you something that we did, okay, in this class, okay. After watching the video of nationalities, I shared this Jamboard with them, okay? So they enter to the Jamboard and they starting copying some short sentences, okay? Because this video was like the second class of the semester. So they didn't know too much, but they learned enough to copy these sentences. So they copy their name, their profession, the age, the nationality, where they live, okay, and so on. So as you can see, they feel excited to participate in class because they are active. They're doing activities that are entertaining and engaging for them. So here you can see like all my students, okay, selected one page from the Jamboard, okay, and I'm there checking, and I say, no, Paula, it's not a pill with double L, it's just one L, and so on, okay? Well, it is correct like this way, okay? So I correct them at the same time, and they ask me question, teacher, go to page 5, this is mine, can you check if I'm doing it okay? And I check, because we're doing the activities in class, and they feel comfortable because the teacher is there. It's like when you're alone at home, if somebody's there to be with you, you feel relaxed because I don't know. Probably I don't need the person, but if I need her, she's there with me. Okay. So let me go back to the presentation here. Okay. So here's a Moodle and some of the videos that I recorded that I show you. Okay. So there are two things. Okay. Before COVID-19 or before this situation, when we had face-to-face classes or classes at the campus, we did handcraft activities and very nice activities that they like. So instead of doing the Jamboard, which they have to put the picture and copy sentences and use colors and decorate and everything, in class we used to do the same thing, but using cardboard, magazines, pictures, scissors, glue. So they created things like this. Okay. So as I say, flip learning, it is good to do it in this situation that we're now in online classes, remote learning, or in regular classes, because you just send them the videos through the Moodle, through the blog, through WhatsApp. Because once I send it, the videos through WhatsApp, because in Colombia, I have some students who live far away, so they don't have a very good connection. So what I used to do, is send them the information and the videos and everything through WhatsApp, because I mean they always have the WhatsApp there. So it was a good resource to keep in touch with them. Okay. So here you can see that they created their family trees. Okay, they created the sentence with me there. They copy everything and they ask me, teacher, how do you spell this word? Is this correct? What did I do, etc. And they also created these presentation cards in class. Okay, and this was before, I mean, pre-COVID classes. Okay, now it's totally different. We're doing the same thing, but like handcraft and fun activities, but online. Okay, so this is a good thing about technology in Colombia. Before, teachers in Colombia, not of course, I'm not going to talk about, I mean, the general country, but where I live, there are some rural areas where my students live. So students were not used to have online classes. In fact, I still have students who don't have a computer. So sometimes they have to connect to online classes using their cell phones, so it is complicated for them to do the activities. So they cannot enter to a Jamboard to do the activity, but it's okay. I say I'm a very flexible teacher. I understand all situations. So what I do, I say, don't worry, do it on paper. Do it on paper, use cardboard, cut pictures, cut images, paste them, create whatever you want to create, and just take a picture of it and upload it in the Moodle or send it to me through WhatsApp. The idea is not to stop them from learning, because if I say, no, you have to do it this way, that's the only way to do it, then they're going to feel frustrated. So what's the idea? If you're using this methodology, is to motivate your students. So you can be flexible with them. Okay. In fact, I'm very flexible with my students. Okay. So at the beginning, they complain a lot with too much homework in the Moodle, not, I mean, connection problems, and they were wondering if they were really learning. Okay, so I said, don't worry, you don't have homework, okay, at all, because activities are done in class. Of course you're gonna say, but do you have enough time to finish those activities in class? No, sometimes we don't have time to finish them, but we started them in class. They asked me all the questions they needed to ask me in class. So if they didn't finish, that's okay, because they can finish at home by their own. Okay, but at least like the 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 most complicated part, they did it with me there, with me guiding them. Okay, connection problems, I know that that's a situation that we have, mostly for the synchronics class time. But talking about the videos, sometimes they just can download the video in their cell phones and watch the video as many times as they want. So this is a very good thing about flip learning, that they learn at their own pace. Okay. And of course they're learning, because you're gonna see some of the results that I'm gonna show you. Okay. So in my experience, I can say that flip learning helped me with four things. Okay. First, the autonomy. My students are totally autonomous. Before, they used to get to class and say, I didn't bring the cardboard. I didn't do this. But then the second class, I said, you didn't watch the video? So what are you going to do? So they started moving on and they watched the videos and they were ready. So sometimes they have like cardboard for everyone. They have magazines, scissors, everything. So they share, they collaborate one to the other, they interact. So that was good because they felt comfortable in my classes. They were learning and they didn't realize that they were learning because we were using handcraft and fun activities. Another thing, as I was saying before, is the HOTS. Why? Because I'm not only working with lots, I'm working with HOTS in the Bloom's taxonomy, but in a different way. They're doing the lots by their own, and they're doing, or I'm helping them to achieve the HOTS in the Bloom's taxonomy. The four C's, okay, you're gonna see, and the flipped classroom, you're gonna see here. So they communicate, they use their creativity, they use their critical thinking because, as I say, they watch a video and say, I don't use this in Spanish or in English. Why I use it in French? So they start questioning, and it's a very good thing because they're eager to learn more and more, and they collaborate one to the other. Here, the Bloom's taxonomy that I previously explained, and here the flipped classroom learning cycle, we can get it because outside of the class, they engage and they explore by using the videos or the material in class. And then in class, we explain, we discuss, we interact, and we extend the content through the activities we do. Okay. So here is the same thing. What we used to do before COVID-19 and what we're doing now in remote learning. Okay, so in remote learning, what we used to do out of the class, okay, we're doing it now with the Moodle, okay, in an asynchronous class time. So is the time that they use to enter to the Moodle, watch the videos, read the material, and so on. So they work with the HOTS. They understand, they memorize some vocabulary, they remember, and they apply some vocabulary. And then in class, what we used to do in class is what we do in our online classes in the synchronous time class. Okay. Of course, we take advantage of the Moodle to carry on these two processes, and it's good for them. Another thing that I'm going to tell you, like before the remote learning in class activities, we also use the WhatsApp a lot, okay, in class. So they did things like, for example, they created dialogues and they registered their voice in couples, like a dialogue, in the WhatsApp, and they send me the recording. So I checked the recording, the pronunciation, then they took a picture of the dialogue, okay? Because at that time, they could have done it through the Moodle, but as I say, some students didn't have a computer. So they did it through WhatsApp because I was very flexible with them. And WhatsApp was a very good tool for me because they interact, they share experience, they comment. So sometimes I just send them a recording and they answer me, they participate. So they were always eager to learn the language. Okay. In fact, as I showed you before, well, I'm going to show you another recording. This is a recording that I did for them to explain them the family members. Okay. This is a video that I recorded for them to explain them the family members, okay, and the description, the appearance, and also the personality, okay. So I always explain them through videos. So, and I also have some here. I have another presentation about the family. I use the Simpsons. So I explain them, the family members, through this video. So they understood the family members, how to describe them, and so on. Okay. So after watching this video, okay, probably they watch it many times. Okay. They got to class and they did something like this, the video that I'm going to show you. Okay, you're gonna say, but they created the video in class. Well, they started creating the video, like the ideas, like the script of the video. Okay, and then of course, because of the time, they created a video by their own at home. But that's okay because, like, the challenging part, writing down the script, which is the most difficult one, they did it in class with me. I help them out to write the script, to work on the pronunciation and so on. So after that, they created videos like this. And this video, I love it. So as you can see, this is only 2 hours of class per week, okay? And I have this type of results. So I believe, and in fact, I'm very proud of my students because I think that they're really learning. And I really like this video because, in fact, she allowed me to show the video because she's not a language student. She studies education, and she allowed me to show the video because she included her family, her real family, in the video. So that's a good way. In fact, this is an example how they feel motivated to learn because they create a video using their family members. So in a regular class, they probably just take pictures and explaining, and that's it. But with flip learning, they really feel motivated. Okay. So in remote learning, we use different tools. Okay, I use a Screencast-O-Matic to record my videos because I believe it's very easy. And my students in my classes, they use blogs or wakelets or Padlets to work in class. So it's like instead of having a notebook, they have like a virtual notebook or portfolio, and they do the activities in the blog with me in class, in online classes. Okay. I also use the Jamboard a lot because they get to interact. And in fact, I do dictations. I do dictations. So they take little post-its and they write the dictation because dictation is very important in French. So they do it in class with me, in front of me, because I'm watching them while they're writing. Okay, they're writing down. So here I'm gonna show you very quickly. Here, for example, the video of the family here and the description. Here you can see in another Jamboard that they had to describe two people. So you're gonna see and you're gonna say, but that's easy. But this is easy. Okay, I know. But this is like the fourth class of the semester. And they achieved to do this. So I believe they have done or they have gotten good results. Here, this student explains the profession, her appearance, her age, and so on. Okay, so as you can see, all students did it. Okay, all students did it. They're very short sentences, but the idea is that they put into practice the content learned. Okay, because if they don't put it into practice, they are never going to assimilate that vocabulary and those grammar rules and that content. Okay, so here you can see different things that they did it. And in fact, as I was saying, they feel motivated because they take the picture here, they change the color, they want to show off, okay, with their activities. And that's good. That's good because they feel motivated and engaged. Okay, here I have another one. Wait a second, I need, well, let me, okay, here you have another one. Here, okay, this is a Padlet. This is a Padlet. What I do with my students, I also share the link with of the Padlet, and we work in class in our online classes. So here you can see that they start writing about themselves, okay? And they also have to record some videos. Okay, I don't know if this happens to you, but at the university level, some of my students don't like to turn on the camera. So I don't know their faces, okay, not all of them. So I forced them to record a video or to upload a picture here. Okay, here some of them didn't have a camera in their computers, because some of them work from the cell phone, so they cannot record a video because they're using the cell phone. So at least they record their voice. Okay, to explain.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Alba Honorete.
Okay, to explain what they draw here, explaining their appearance, their activities, and so on, which was a content working class. Okay, here you have another Padlet. Okay, this one was done with the first group. Okay, the first group, the one who created the Jamboard, which was very easy. And here you can see that it's very easy. They are just introducing themselves. Okay, and they record some videos. And as I say, they don't feel embarrassed to try to register or to record a video because they're learning. Okay.
Salut, je m'appelle Paula. Je viens du sang. Je suis colombienne. Je suis étudiante en enseignement sexy.
Okay, so as you can see, you have good results. And these activities are done in class, but the explanation was through a video before. Okay, as I was saying before, some of my students use Wakelets. They're free to use Wakelet, blocks, okay, or Padlets. So I'm going to show you one of the examples. Okay, so for example, I explain a content of my dreams, and they have to write down their information in class with me. They sometimes have to record a video or record their voice and so on. So they put into practice what they learn. So here, for example, they upload pictures, they write down about their dreams using the vocabulary explaining class. So this is student, for example, she used Wakelets, which is very good. This is student prefer to use a blog. Okay, so here you see her blog, right? And if you go here, you can see how she explains who she is, what she likes, and so on. Okay, and she uses memes, pictures, jokes, everything. And that's what they like, that they can do something very creative. And for example, I'm sorry, this student created a Padlet. So it's a different way. Okay, so all of them are feel comfortable because some of them prefer the Padlet, some of them prefer the blog, the Wakelets, and so on. So I'm flexible with them. The idea is to work in class, to do the activities in class, so they feel comfortable with it. Okay, so going back to the presentation very quickly, I strongly recommend flip learning for your classes, no matter what subject it is, because in fact, flip learning was first created for, uh, it was for mathematics or physics classes. So here we're using it for language classes, second language classes, and it works. So it works for everyone. Okay. My achievements in linguistics, they already introduce themselves and others. They talk about family members, appearance, and personality. They interact using short dialogues, as I explained you. They create simple conversations and so on. Then in motivation, they have a positive attitude to learning. They feel engaged, and in fact, I'm going to tell you something. I have classes at 6 o'clock in the morning because in Colombia, they wake up very early. And my students at 6 o'clock a.m., they are connected. So there you can notice how motivated they are. Okay. And here, that's a good thing because I have students from different degrees that were motivated to learn the language, not only the English students, okay, but from other different degrees. The autonomy, that was very important because they adapted at the beginning. they have problems, mostly the language students, the English students, but then they adapted very well to the videos and to the methodology. Okay. In thinking abilities, as I say, they do the lots at home with the videos and doing very simple things. But in the HOTS, the high order thinking skills, according to Bloom's taxonomy, they did it in class or in synchronous class time. Okay. So here, I thank you so much for being here, listening to me for half an hour, I think. Thank you so much. Here you have my email. Well, at the beginning, I also show you my Twitter. I don't follow Twitter too much, but just in case you need it. And thank you so much again for listening to me. Bye bye. And don't forget to flip your glasses.